Let's go ahead and watch some. Oh, this is going to be so bad. Let's watch Bam Margera. Now, I forgot about this until I saw this article, but I forgot Bam Margera was in the hospital recently. He was on a ventilator. They thought he was going to die. We all know why he was on a ventilator.
I mean, I've got a laundry list of options, but what's yours?
What's top of the list for you?
Okay, COVID or lung cancer from all the drugs.
I would say, and most reasonable people would say, reason number one, drugs and booze.
Right.
For Bam Margera. Well, April, you, my friend, would be wrong. Did
he shove something down his throat?
No, it was not drugs that made Bam Margera go to the hospital. I'm just kidding. It was drugs. But he's going to give us a really long, complicated bullshit addict story.
Okay.
And I can't believe he has the balls to go on Steve-O's show and lie like this to a guy who was the biggest addict in the world and knows how this fucking game works. Steve-O knows how the lies go when it comes to covering up your addiction. And by the way, in just the last few months, since Bam's been on Steve-O's show, look at how much worse he looks.
It isn't good.
Look at that. The hair is all greasy. The beard is unkempt.
Look at that neck beard.
Kind of looks like Oz, unfortunately.
Jesus.
Am I wrong?
This guy's fucking nerds over here.
I'm sorry if I'm going nerds. So this is Bam Margera explaining why he was in the hospital on a ventilator. April, I want you to tell me if you've ever heard of anyone being hospitalized because this sequence of events happened to them. Here we go.
I basically was pronounced dead on Elvis's birthday, December 8th. Did not know that I had gnarly COVID. My body was shutting down, and I went into 4 seizures. And
so it's already just a complete bullshit story. It's always over the top. It's always, oh my God, what a survivor I am. Look at all the, and by the way, he's not done yet.
Even if I were to give him the benefit of the doubt and he had bad COVID and he's like, I didn't even know. How don't you know you're that sick? Are you that fucked up all the time that you just don't even know?
You would know you had quote unquote gnarly COVID.
I knew when I had COVID.
Right. And then I had 4 seizures and I remember this. I'm getting flashbacks to when I worked at the restaurant and we worked with addicts. Some of the addicts were waitresses because the boss liked the the cute just before meth or heroin gets you drug chicks.
Yes, I do know
they're
them.
really hot and they clearly fuck all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we had a couple of those and they would always tell these amazing stories about the night they had and then this happened to me. And these are the kind of people who always, money was stolen from me or my card was stolen. Everything's stolen all the time. All these bad things happen and it's never their fault. And that's a good sign that someone's up to something.
You're lucky. All I got was alcoholics for coworkers.
Yeah, and the alcoholics, they don't hide it.
You don't want the druggies out of Litchfield. They're all meth heads and greasy.
Yeah. So let's go back. They all look like Bam Margera.
Yes.
I had gnarly COVID. My body was shutting down, and I went into 4 seizures. And
do you think maybe he means the hotel? He went into the 4 seasons?
Because I kind of heard 4 seasons.
Yeah, maybe he went into the 4 seasons.
4 Caesars. I don't know.
Well, maybe he had 4 Bloody Marys.
Maybe.
We don't know.
And I went into 4 seizures, and each one lasting 10 to 20 minutes. And on the 4th one, I bit my tongue so hard, it was nearly falling off. It got so swollen and puffy, it wouldn't fit in my mouth. And I was drinking the infected blood, which gave me pneumonia as well.
It's just addition after addition.
It's not, that doesn't happen. You know how many people have bit their mouth or their tongue and they've swallowed the blood? They don't get pneumonia.
No, it doesn't.
Your blood belongs in your body.
Okay, let's go medical here. Aaron, when you swallow something, where does the product end up?
It goes into your digestive system, into your stomach, and then is expelled typically through the anus or the penis.
Where does pneumonia occur?
That would be in your lungs.
So if I'm correct here, when you swallow something, typically it's not going to go to your lungs, right?
No, if you eat or drink something and it goes into your lungs, that's a big problem.
I think your plumbing's all screwed up there, bud. I mean, I've swallowed how much blood before, and I've never gotten pneumonia from it.
How bad does this piece of shit want to keep doing drugs and stay loaded? You'll make up this lie. And by the way, not even a lie to him. I promise you he believes this.
Oh, he does. He has convinced himself of this. And how screwed up is he right now? Telling everybody.
Oh, he is. First of all, he doesn't pass the eye test. You look at him and go, he's loaded. But then you listen to him talk and you're like, oh, he's fucked up.
You know what another thing is about it? Like a lot of drug addicts or like people who are drunk too will not look at you. He keeps looking down. He won't look up at the people he's around. And the two people, by the way, Steve-O and his producer, whoever that is, are just looking at him like this. Like
the producer especially is like, what the fuck are we doing? Because the only reason he's on here is Steve-O's doing him a favor. Which I don't know if it's really a favor anymore.
Steve-O, last time Bam was with him, he was very concerned for him.
Right, and he told him the truth. He's like, you don't want to be loaded anymore, man. You don't want to keep getting drunk and high. And Bam Margera just steamrolled right through him, and Steve-O's like, okay, well, whatever.
I tried.
So let's see. So far, it wasn't drugs that put him in the hospital on a ventilator, April. You see, he had COVID. He had gnarly COVID. He had 4 seizures. Then he bit his tongue, and then he drank the infected blood, and then that gave him a pneumonia thing in his lungs because that all checks out.
So I am another little hitch in his story here. If he's at a medical facility when he's having these seizures that he's claiming lasted 10 to 20 minutes apiece.
Yeah.
Medical staff know for a fact to get something in your mouth so you're not biting your tongue during seizures. So if that was your 3rd or 4th seizure, there's protection there. That didn't happen.
Well, okay. Are you saying that this guy might be full of shit?
Tiny bit.
How dare you?
What?
Wow. I can't even believe I'm sitting next to someone who would be this insensitive towards an addict's needs.
You know what? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It wouldn't fit in my mouth, and I was drinking the infected blood, which gave me pneumonia as well. So when Naveed, the shaman...
That is the face of a man who does not believe a fucking word you're saying.
Did you catch that too? The blood was infected?
Yeah, how is the blood infected?
How do you just bite your tongue and you have infected blood coming out of it?
Is he talking about like COVID infected blood? That doesn't make... That's not how this works. It's not like AIDS people give themselves AIDS again. It's not like, oh, I got a paper cut. Oh, now I got AIDS in my lungs. No.
This is almost impressively bad.
Took me to the hospital. I went in my 5th seizure and I couldn't breathe without a tube down my throat. So I woke up 5 days later thinking I was there for a couple hours. They're like, dude, you've been here for nearly a week. We tried to take the tube.
Right. I mean, that's what always happens, right?
Okay. Also, timeline-wise, okay, so he wasn't at the hospital for these seizures, so he's got shitty friends around him who, while he's having 20-minute seizures, don't get him to the hospital.
Right, because they're all drunk and doing drugs. Like he was until he started having his seizures.
Check it out. He said he drank the infected blood and got pneumonia. Do you know how long it takes to get pneumonia or how you have it?
A long time.
You've got to have a pre-existing sort of like bacterial infection that overtakes your lungs.
And you weren't breathing on your own. So we had to put it... So I spent 8 days...
Look at Steve-O's eyebrows and mouth. He doesn't believe this, and he's really uncomfortable.
Don't you just feel gross even sitting next to Bam?
Right, because like I feel like maybe I'm wrong here, but if you're a friend, you go, dude, that's bullshit.
I think he's waiting to see how far this goes.
This was drugs and this was alcohol. Like this wasn't infected, gnarly COVID blood in your lung. You were fucking hammered again.
If I'm Steve-O, I'm probably doing exactly what he's doing, waiting it out to see how bad the lie gets first.
He's in there, and dude, when they took that tube out, I felt like I sucked on Darth Vader's dick. I had to sip on tea and fucking lozenges all the live long day.
For me, seeing Bam's on fucking ventilator, meaning you can't breathe by yourself. You're in. I didn't say that. Beep that. you're in the ICU, intensive care unit.
Oh, he said the hospital. I'm guessing he might have said the hospital he was at.
In critical but stable condition. I'm just thinking, oh my god, this is it.
Yeah,
so he didn't call him out on any of that other bullshit. He didn't.
Wow.
He didn't point out that Bam. That story is fucking terrible. Like that's not what. Yeah, that's not what happened. But it does sound like an addict story, though. Like, it does sound like a story an addict would tell.
Did Steve-O maybe like skate over it completely because he's used to hearing him say it like that? Say shit like that?
And I guess at some point, you're like, look, I've helped this guy already. I mean, I can't, there's nothing more I can do.
Right. Maybe they go into this knowing like it's all bullshit. He was in the hospital, but the rest of it's bullshit.
Yeah, like if the guy's still willing to lie to that, well, Steve-O's recovered and all that stuff. He's a former drug addict and alcoholic. He probably sees that story and he goes, well, nothing I say is going to get this guy any help. He's not ready.
No.
If you're willing to peddle that bullshit, and addicts always tell their stories like, right, you believe me. Like that's the kind of the tone they take when they're telling you this stuff.
Yes. And Steve-O said at the end too, he's like, oh shit, this is it. You know, like it sounds like he's kind of been waiting
right
for the end.
Somebody's saying Steve-O is just waiting for him to hit bottom. Oh, maybe that, yeah,
Where
Steve-O's
is
just
bottom?
letting him hit bottom.
Where's bottom for Bam?
I don't know. It seems like the bottom keeps falling out.
It's a never-ending hole.
Yeah, for Bam Margera. And again, you show up on Steve-O's show, you're clearly fucked up. Or you haven't been sleeping or something. You look terrible. And then you come on and you peddle that weak shit story.
I can't believe that. I drank the infected blood and got pneumonia.
Instantly. He just drank the blood and then boom.
That doesn't happen.
I
got secondary pneumonia, I think, from having COVID for like 2 weeks. It takes a while.
It takes a while. You don't just drink
your
tongue blood from when you bit it really hard.
A few minutes ago.
Hold on. I need to check one thing. Can drinking blood give you pneumonia? I spelt it wrong, but who cares?
You forgot you, that's all.
Drinking large amounts of alcohol, taking illicit drugs will make you less alert. Receiving medicine to put you into deep sleep for surgery. Can aspiration of blood, complications. Complications of aspiration include acute respiratory failure, acute respiratory distress syndrome, ARDS, and bacterial pneumonia. Complications of bacterial pneumonia include parapneumonic effusion, edema, lung abscess, and superinfection.
Okay.
Yeah, but how long does that take?
Aspiration, though, is still respiratory. It's not digestive. It's not swallowing something.
They're saying you can get the bacteria, though, and it can spread to your lungs.
Now, if
your lungs.
If he inhaled some infected blood up through his nasal cavity, maybe, but you don't get it instantly.
I don't know.
Maybe you got it while you're in the hospital. I don't know.
That's my thing. Is like you didn't get it right away. Oh shit! I haven't had live chat on the whole time. I've had top chat.
There you go.